Hey guys, I'm Samantha and I'm here to do my February book wrap-up. I believe I got around about 7 books read for the month of February. February tends to be kind of a slow reading month for me. Not only that it's the shortest month out of the year, it just tends to be the time when I go kind of slumpy. Last year I read only about 5 books and I think I only read a couple more this year, but I did pretty well considering that it is the shortest month. But we did have Polathon happened and I got a few books read for that. So I'll go over all that as I go over each book. The first book being City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This was a reread for me. Maybe about like a 4th reread, honestly, at this point. I gave it 4 stars, or it maintained its 4-star rating, I believe. I originally first read this when I was in high school, and me and my friends were obsessed with this series as it was coming out. I have fond memories of reading this on band trips to competitions and things like that, so I was happy about diving into the series again, and I also started annotating it as well. I started reading this for the Becca the Fowls read along for it. Words, Samantha. It's by the Angel Along. I unfortunately didn't get to City of Ashes for the month of February, but I'm hoping try to get it done sometime this month and try to get in the next book as well. We'll see if I am able to continue on with that read along. But I really did enjoy visiting the series again, especially after having watched the TV series completely. It's been about a year or 2 now since I had actually last watched the TV series or finished it. But it was definitely good to get a refresher of that world. The second book I finished for the month of February is Who Killed the Homecoming Queen by R.L. Stine. This is like book 48 in the Fear Street novel series of his. I read this quite a few times when I was younger. This book came out in 97. So it's quite dated in the way that like some of the viewpoints are, unfortunately. So it only got a 3 stars. I read this originally for my thriller blog, which will be coming out, hopefully if I get it all edited and stuff, probably the week after this video goes live. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But it was fun to go back and see, read some of the books that I had read when I was younger. Book 3 is The Ice Whisperers by Helenka Stachara. I'm probably butchering this. If I am, I apologize. I gave this 4.5 stars. This is a middle grade polar fantasy book that I had picked up during Polathon, and it is a middle grade monthly's February pick of the month as well, and I really enjoyed it. This was one of the books that I ended up buying my own copy of because I couldn't get a copy from the library, and I'm glad I did. I definitely can see me rereading this at a later time, and I know it's not the most well-loved middle grade novel from what I have seen people rating it. Some people have issues with it, but I really do enjoy the different timeline perspective from this book. If you're interested in knowing more about what The Ice Whisperer is about, check out my Polathon vlog from that week. Also for Polathon, I listened to The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I gave that 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I could definitely see how it may be a little difficult for some people to start reading it physically, but the author, or the narrator I should say, had done a wonderful job of making it really the lyrical writing of the story come to life and really paints a beautiful picture. I really enjoyed it. This was also for Polathon as well. next and last Polarothon book that I had listened to was The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. I gave this 3.5 stars. I can definitely see why people are interested in it, but I think it's also a product of its time in some places. There's some parts of it that rubbed me the wrong way when it came to the way that it handled race. But that book came out like, let me see. It's part of the His Dark Materials series. It came out in '95, it looks like. So it was kind of, can be hit or miss for me depending on like those type of books set in the 90s. I've come to find out that the older I get, the more books that are in like the 80s and 90s don't tend to sit all that well with me anymore. But I definitely recommend checking out the audiobook version that I listened to. It was narrated by the author and had a full cast for the characters as well, so it definitely made the story fly by. I read Lore by Alexandria Bracken. I gave this 3.5 stars. This was the first book for the Recreate Book Club that my friend Ashley with Ashley's Media Addiction is hosting with 2 others. I unfortunately didn't get this finished in time for the end of January, but I took this along with me when I had to travel out of state for a family memorial, and really enjoyed the plot of the book, and the way that the author had written it kind of made it seem like it could be part of a bigger series or maybe a duology. So I'm interested in seeing if she will go more into the story a little bit. But I really did enjoy that and recommend it if you're interested in like Greek mythology and things like that. I read A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Harrow and gave this 3.5 stars. This is a Sleeping Beauty retelling. It's a sapphic version, really, and I can see why it is well liked, but I wasn't wowed by the story by any means, but I definitely did enjoy the flow that the author used while telling the story, and it definitely gave Sleeping Beauty more life to it, and I really enjoyed it. I also had read Witch by Lisa Lister, which Unbound. I'm not sure. I don't have the whole entire title of it on here, unfortunately. This is a recently new witchy book that I had picked up and read, and it definitely has more of a feminist take to this book. I gave it 4.5 stars. My main issue with it is how female focused it is. I do believe she has a note in there that she used she as a blanket term for all genders, so that kind of rubbed me a wrong way. It didn't seem all that right, and it got to the point where it was a little repetitive about really taking the theme of the womb being the cauldron, like your body's cauldron kind of thing. It kind of ran with that a little too much at point sometimes, so that's what knocked it down a few points in call pile for me. But it definitely has some good points to it regarding witchcraft, so if you're interested in that, definitely look into that book. And then the last book I have listed for February is actually a DNF for me. This was going to be also the last book, one of the books for my thriller vlog, which you'll hear more about that. It's Death in a Distant Land by Nancy Livingston. I just could not get into the way that the book was written and told because of how old it is. I go more into my reasoning why I DNF'd it in that vlog, so definitely check that out. But yeah, those were the books that I had read for the month of February. Leave me a comment down below to let me know if you had read any of these books and what your ratings and thoughts were on them. And I am also kind of looking for some ideas for other themed reading vlogs in the future. What would you guys like to see? And I'll make a list of things and try to get back to those, and just to kind of give me ideas of what to record. And until the next video, guys, I'll see you next time.